Hello dear students, my name is Rahul Gupta and in this video we are going to learn about chapter number 3 Matrix in class 12 Mathematics. So in this video we will see the definition of matrix and the different types of matrix, some important terms related to matrix and the operations we can perform on the matrix. So let's start our discussion with the definition of matrix. So what is matrix? So matrix is a set of mn number of elements arranged in the form of rectangular array which contain m number of rows and n number of columns. So we can call this m cross n matrix. So matrix में basically होता क्या है, हमारे पास mn number of elements है जिनको हमने अरेंज कर रखा है रेक्टेंगुलर अरे के फॉर्म में and this rectangular array contain m number of rows and n number of columns. एक एग्जांपल अगर हम लोग देखें, सो यहाँ पर मेरे पास एक मैट्रिक्स है A मैट्रिक्स. इन दिस मैट्रिक्स वी कैन सी दैट देयर आर टोटल नंबर ऑफ रोज. हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ रोज आर देयर? 1 2 up to m. It means we have total m rows and how many number of columns are there? 1 2 up to n. So we have total n number of columns and m number of rows. So we can represent this matrix as a m cross n matrix. So this m cross n also called as the order of matrix. What order of matrix tells about the matrix is, first thing, number of elements. If we multiply m into n, then we will get the number of elements present in the matrix. For example, if we have a matrix of 2 cross 3 order, so how many number of elements are there? 2 row है, हर row में 3 elements. So there are total number of elements are 6. Second thing, what order tells about the number of rows? So here number of rows are 2 and number of columns are 3. So in this way we can write any matrix. So this is the general representation of matrix. M cross n is the order of matrix. This matrix can also written in compact form. So you can see that here A is our matrix which is written as Aij m cross n. So here m cross n represent what? Order of matrix. So यहाँ पर order कितना था? M cross n and यहाँ पर भी order कितना है आपका? M cross n. Aij, what Aij represent here is, Aij represent is the element. Which element? ith row और jth column का element. For example, यहाँ पर अगर मैं बात करूं, so A12. What is the meaning of A12? The meaning of A12 is the first row का second element, okay? या फिर फर्स्ट रो एंड सेकेंड कॉलम का एलिमेंट. सो फर्स्ट रो एंड द सेकेंड कॉलम. सो सिमिलरली यहां पर ए आई जे क्या रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है? एलिमेंट कौन सा? ith रो एंड jth कॉलम वाला एलिमेंट. ओके, सो इसको हम यहां पर इस फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं वेयर वैल्यू ऑफ i इज इक्वल टू 1 2 3 अप टू m, 1 2 3 अप टू m and the value of j is 1 2 3 up to n. So this is the basic representation of matrix. Now let us take a few examples of matrix so that our understanding become more clear. So here in this example we have two matrix A and B. So let us talk first about A. So you can see that in this matrix there are total number of elements. How many elements are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So total elements are 6. And if we talk about the number of rows, so there are 2 rows, 1 and 2. So how can we write its order? 2 cross. Number of columns 1, 2 and 3. So we have total 3 columns. So we can write this A matrix is of a order 2 cross 3, in which 2 is number of row and 3 is number of column. Okay. Now in this second example, we can see that in this matrix there are total 4 elements. Okay, and the arrangement, the form of arrangement is total number of rows are 2 and total number of columns are also 2. So this can be written as 2 cross 2 matrix. So you can see that the value of element can be anything. It may be positive, integer, negative value, any fractional value, positive or negative real numbers, any function or any variable. So it can be anything. So elements of the matrix can be anything and order always represented. Order, how to write the order? Order is always represented number of row into number of column. Number of ठीक है. So okay. Okay, the question is construct a 3 cross 4 matrix A is equal to Aij whose elements are given by Aij is equal to I minus j. So in this question what we are going to do is we want to construct a matrix whose order is 3 cross 4 and arrangement of matrix is given as capital A is equal to Aij. Okay, means in the compact form. This is given in the compact form and the elements are given by this expression. Which expression? I minus j. So first thing is the order of matrix is given which is equal to 3 cross 4. So how many number of elements are there? 3 into 4 which is equal to 12. We have total 12 number of elements. So the arrangement of matrix will be like this. There are 3 number of rows 1, 2 and 3 and 4 number of columns. Okay. So according to our order, total number of rows must be 3 and column must be 4. So this will be the arrangement of our matrix. Now we have to find the value of A11, A12, A13, A14 and this all elements. So let us find the value of A11. So by the definition of Aij is equal to I minus j. It means for the value of A11, value of I is 1 and value of j is also 1. So 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So the first element of first row is 0. Now A12, the value of I is 1 and value of j is 2. So the element is minus 1. Similarly A13, 1 minus 3 which is equal to minus 2. A14, 1 minus 4 is equal to minus 3. A15 does not exist because the maximum number of columns are 4. So we can go up to 4. Okay. So these are the values. So we can write these values here. A11 0, A12 minus 1, A13 minus 2 and A14 is equal to minus 3. Okay. Now find the value of A21. The value of I is 2. So what we can write here is 2 minus 1. According to this expression, Aij is equal to I minus j. So here 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Now next element is A22. So what is the value of A22? 2 minus 2 I minus j which is equal to 0. Similarly A23 and A24 up to 4 we have to go because there are total number of 4 columns. So A23, the value of A23 is equal to 2 minus 3 which is equal to minus 1 and A24, so 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 2. Okay. So put this value in this matrix 1, 0, minus 1 and minus 2. Okay. Now A13. So you can simply see that I minus j. So 3 minus 1 will be equal to 2. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. And 3 minus 4 is equal to 1. So this is our required matrix according to the given condition. Now we will see the different type of matrix. So there are different type of matrices. The first one is row matrix. The row matrix is a matrix having only one row. Any matrix which has only one row is called as a row matrix. There is no restriction on the number of columns. For example, A is equal to 1 minus 3 and 2. In this matrix you can see that the number of row is 1 and number of columns is 3. So the order of matrix is 1 cross 3. Okay. So the general representation or general order of matrix for row matrix is 1 cross n. N can be anything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, any number. So this is the representation of row matrix. Now similarly column matrix. So column matrix contain only one column. So here no boundation for number of rows. So in this example you can see that there are total number of 4 rows but the column is only 1. So if the number of column is only 1, we can say that this is the column matrix. If we talk about the order of this matrix, it will become 4 cross 1. 4 rows and 1 column. Okay. So general form of General form of order is n cross 1. Okay, the third example. The third matrix is square matrix. It is clear from the name square matrix. What is the meaning of square? Square is a geometrical figure which have all the sides whose all the sides are equal. So in this case, in the case of matrix, if number of rows is equal to number of columns, if m is equal to n, what is m? M is a number of row and n is a number of column. So if any matrix, if m is equal to n, then we can call it a square matrix. Example, in this matrix you can see that there is only one row and one column. So the order of matrix is 1 cross 1. Value of m and n are equal. It means this is a square matrix. Now in the case of B, there are total number of 2 rows, 1, 2 and 2 columns. So order is 2 cross 2. Again m and n are equal. In this matrix there are 3 rows and 3 columns. So 3 cross 3. So all these 3 are the example of square matrix. And one more thing, if you talk about this A matrix, this is also a square matrix as well as row matrix because it has only one row, and it is also a column matrix because there are only one column in this matrix. Okay, so the fourth type of matrix is diagonal matrix. A diagonal matrix is a square matrix whose all the elements except leading diagonal elements are zero. ऐसा मैट्रिक्स, ऐसा स्क्वायर मैट्रिक्स जिसके सारे एलिमेंट जीरो हो, सिर्फ लीडिंग डायगोनल एलिमेंट्स को छोड़ के. So what is the meaning of leading diagonal here? We know that in the square there are two diagonals. One is this and the second one is this. So the one which is started from first element in our matrix is called as the leading diagonal. So this is our leading diagonal. So in this example you can see that we have 3 cross 3 matrix. This is a square matrix of order 3. Okay. So the first condition to be a diagonal matrix is a square matrix. So this is our square matrix. And in this matrix you can see that except this diagonal elements, all the elements are zero. It means A is a diagonal matrix. And diagonal matrix is always a square matrix. In example 2, in second example, you can see that these leading diagonal elements are non-zero and remaining all the elements are zero. So this both two examples are of the diagonal matrix. Now the fifth type is scalar matrix. It is a square matrix. A is equal to Aij n cross n. Why n cross n? Because we are talking about the square matrix, and we know that in square matrix number of rows and number of columns are equal. That's why it is written here n cross n. So any square matrix is called as a scalar matrix if it satisfies two conditions. First condition is Aij is equal to 0 for all the values of I is not equal to j. If I is not equal to j, then the value of element must be 0. And the second condition is Aij is equal to any constant c for I is equal to j, where c is not equal to 0. So in this case, if value of I and j are different, so the element value must be 0. So let us move to the example. In this example, you can see that this is a 3 cross 3 matrix. So the first element will be A11. So you can see that here I and j are equal, and if I and j are equal, the value of element must be any constant c. So here the constant value is 2. Now for this element A12, okay, so the I and j are not equal. If it is not equal, then element must be 0. So this is 0. Okay. In the same manner, A13, 0, A21, 0, A22. Again, A22, second row का second element, second row और second column का element. So A22, where I is equal to j, so Aij must be equal to c, and this value of c is same for all the elements. Value of c is constant. So we can say that scalar matrix is a type of square matrix, square diagonal matrix whose all the diagonal elements are same. Simple. So here you can see that all the diagonal elements are 2, which is same, and other elements are 0. So it is the type of diagonal element, diagonal matrix whose all the diagonal elements are same. Second example, B. 1 minus I, 0, 0, 1 minus I. Here again you can see that the diagonal elements are same and remaining elements are 0. So this is again a type of scalar matrix. Now sixth type is identity matrix are those diagonal matrix with unity diagonal elements and all other elements are 0. If we are talking about the diagonal matrix, then we must know that all the elements of diagonal matrix are 0 except the diagonal elements. So the same thing is available in this identity matrix. In this matrix, we can see that here I write I3. I3 represent the order 3 cross 3 square matrix. It is a square matrix. So you can see that all the diagonal elements are 1 and remaining elements are 0. So if all the diagonal elements are 1 and remaining elements are 0, so then we can say that this matrix is a identity matrix or unit matrix. So हम इसको unit matrix भी बोल सकते हैं. In the same way, 2 cross 2 matrix 1 0 0 1. Again, the diagonal elements are 1 and remaining elements are 0. So this is the type of identity matrix and this is very important type of matrix. Now the seventh type of matrix is null matrix. So null matrix is also called as zero matrix, a matrix whose all the elements are 0. Any matrix whose all the elements are 0, we can call it null matrix or zero matrix. Example, in this case you can see that this is the matrix of order 2 cross 2 and all the elements of this matrix are 0. Same manner, in this matrix you can see that the order is 2 cross 3 and all the elements are 0. So the only condition for a matrix to be a null matrix or zero matrix is all the elements of a matrix must be 0. Okay, so this is our null matrix and the last two matrices are upper triangular matrix and lower triangular matrix. So the eighth type is upper triangular matrix. So in the upper triangular matrix, it is a type of square matrix. It means for any matrix to be upper triangular matrix, it must be a square matrix. So in any square matrix, if all the elements below the diagonal, principal or leading diagonal are 0, then we can say that upper triangular matrix. So you can clearly see that this is our diagonal elements and below this all the elements are 0. So we can say that this is our upper triangular matrix. In the case of lower triangular matrix, all the elements above the leading diagonal must be 0. So if all the elements above the leading diagonal elements are 0, then this is called as the lower triangular matrix. You can see that यहाँ पर एक ट्रायंगल बन रहा है अपर साइड में और यहाँ पर एक ट्रायंगल बन रहा है लोअर साइड में. That's why this is called as upper triangular matrix and this is called as lower triangular matrix. So इसको हम एक बार कंक्लूड कर देते हैं. जितने भी टाइप्स हम लोगों ने पढ़े हैं उसको एक बार हम थोड़ा सा फ्लो चार्ट की मदद से कंक्लूड कर लेते हैं. सारे मैट्रिक्स के टाइप्स को एक बार फटाफट से देख लेते हैं इस चार्ट के अंदर. So the first form of matrix is the row matrix which contain only one row is called as row matrix. Second is the column matrix. Column matrix contain only one column. Now next type is null matrix. Null matrix is any matrix whose all the elements are 0 is called as null matrix. Now coming to the part square matrix. Square matrix is a matrix whose number of columns and number of rows are equal. N is equal to n. Now the first type of square matrix is a diagonal matrix. So diagonal matrix is a type of square matrix in which only principal diagonal elements are present and rest of the elements are 0, which is called as diagonal matrix. Diagonal matrix is further divided into two categories. Okay, in the case of diagonal matrix, the diagonal element can be anything other than 0. Okay, so diagonal matrix वैल्यू कुछ भी हो सकती है. डायगोनल एलिमेंट्स की वैल्यू कुछ भी हो सकती है. राइट. नाउ द डायगोनल मैट्रिक्स इज फर्दर divided into two categories. First one is the scalar matrix, or we can say that the scalar matrix is a type of diagonal matrix. So in the scalar matrix, all the diagonal elements are same. It means if the value of any one of the diagonal element is 2, then all the diagonal element must be 2. Okay. And the second form is identity matrix. In the identity matrix, it is also a type of diagonal matrix in which all the diagonal elements are 1. Okay, and other elements, rest of the other elements are 0. The first part of square matrix was diagonal matrix, and the second part is the triangular matrix. In the triangular matrix, there are two categories, upper and lower. In the case of upper triangular matrix, the elements below the leading diagonal is 0, and in the case of lower triangular matrix, the elements above the leading diagonal elements are 0. So these are the types of matrix. So थोड़ा सा लेंथ वीडियो का ज्यादा हो रहा है, so अभी के लिए हम इसको यहीं पे खत्म करते हैं, एंड नेक्स्ट वीडियो में वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द डिफरेंट ऑपरेशंस, इक्वालिटी, एडिशन, सब्सट्रैक्शन एंड मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑफ मैट्रिसेस. So thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good day.